Hey guys, it's Mike G here, and welcome to another episode of Mornings with Mike, your 5-minute dose of motivation and accountability for the day to help you live a happier, healthier, more fulfilling life. And guys, we have a good episode here today. I'm super excited you're here, and can't wait to share what we're chatting about here today. So let's dive right into it. Today, we are talking about the following, and here's the statement. The topic is, it's not what happens to us, it's what we do about it. And I'm going to repeat that again. It's not what happens to us, it's what we do about it. And what does that mean? Let's dive into that. What happens to us, meaning like, oh man, I got let go from my job, or man, I put on those 5 pounds, or man, I twisted my ankle and now I can't, continue training for that marathon like I wanted to, or oh man, this relationship didn't go as I thought it would go, whether it's personal relationship, business relationship, a family relationship, it's not what happens to us, it's what we do about it. And the reason, what I mean by that, what I want to discuss here today is, typically what happens to us, sometimes we think that, these outcomes, sometimes things that happen to us that are not so pleasant, we think it just happens to us. And the truth of the matter is, everyone gets thrown curveballs in life. Maybe, they might be different for each one of us, but we all get thrown curveballs. So to think we're different or unique because we've had some hardships or things get thrown our way, yeah, it sucks. I've had plenty on my own, and I'll talk about that here in a second, but we all get thrown curveballs in life. And it's not so much, the curveballs, but it's like, well, what do we do about these curveballs that get thrown at us? Because they are going to get thrown at us. It's going to happen to all of us. But it's what we do about it. It's not so much that we get thrown them. What do we do about it? That's what's going to determine, whether or not we rise above the curveballs thrown our way, or, we get hit by them when we stay down. For example, I can share my own personal stories, what happened to me when I was younger, when I was, 8, 9, 10 years old, I get fed stories that, I wasn't good enough, smart enough, worthy enough of, being successful, being an entrepreneur, having the things I wanted. It was crappy. It was, if you know my story, that's the stories I was fed in the school system by the teachers. They weren't the most pleasant, and it wasn't, that happened to me. I got turned down to 6 colleges I applied to. I got turned down to all of them. And, I continued going. I continued striving ahead to, applying until I got accepted to one. Business failure. I lost, I don't even know, over $20,000+ about 7-8 years ago in a business venture that I decided, to take part in. And, I lost that money, and it was my money. It was some family money that they lent me. And, that was a tough one to swallow, but, it wasn't what happened to me. It's what I did about it. And, even personally, divorce, I went through a divorce. This was back probably 8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago now. I can't even remember, but again, it's all these things that happened to me. Right. And look, I'm no different. These were curveballs that were thrown my way. You've had your own curveballs thrown your way, and it wasn't what happened to me. It isn't what happened to me. It's what I did about it. So for example, the messages that I was, fed from an early age, yeah, that really messed me up. But you know what? I decided then at that time to leverage and lean on the thing that always made me feel the best, and that was exercise. That was running around. That was riding my bike, because I knew in the classroom I didn't feel so hot because of the stories that were fed to me, but I knew riding my bike and exercising and running around made me feel good. So it's what I did about it. I leveraged exercise to make me feel better. I got 6 no's from the colleges I applied to. I refused to take that no, and I kept applying until I finally got into college. A business failure. Yeah, I failed. I lost a bunch of money, and I decided to just not allow that to hold me down, which, so it was a tough one, but, I really looked at, what I did, what went wrong, and I learned from my mistakes, and I continued on, and I created, what is now MikeGonsalves.com. But again, it's what I did about it. I didn't stay down and stay focused on the fact that I lost all this money, and, I failed at that, opportunity. And even divorce from a relationship standpoint, yeah, it didn't go things didn't turn out the way I wanted them to turn out. But again, I didn't decide to focus and stay there. Oh, well, it didn't work out there, so it must not work out. I'm not a good enough person to have a good relationship. No, I decided to say, hey, you know what? I learned from my mistakes, X, Y, and Z. I could have done better, and I will do better in my next relationship. So it's not what happened to me. It's what I did about it. So I'm going to ask that call to action for you is, what are some things that have happened to you, or perhaps are currently happening to you. What are they? And just be cautious, be mindful about what you're focusing on, because remember, it's not what happens. What happens to one of us happens to all of us in different ways. It's what we decide to do about it. So I'm going to ask you, what's happening to you at the moment, or what has happened to you, and what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Because what you do about it is what will determine the outcomes going forward. What's happened, but what will you do about it going forward? That's today's message, guys. I hope it helps. I hope it resonates, and I hope it helps you to realize that it's not what happens to us. It's what we do about it. Best of luck. You're awesome. Until next episode. Cheers.